Good morning, everyone. Good evening if you're actually going to be watching from, well, across in Australia. It will be night time. Actually, it'll be night time tomorrow. Well, it'll be night time anyway for you guys. But morning or good evening. My name is Craig Laird. We are here for our first live show of the day on Crafters TV. It is, of course, Wake Up Call, and it's the final one of the week before we go into the weekend, of course. So we've got a jam-packed day lined up for you. Before we go over what we've got coming up today, I just want to jump in and say, make sure when you're across on our website, check out our end of the summer sale. We've got incredible bargains across there. You can see the details right along the bottom of your screen. Shine bright this September when it comes to the end of our summer sale. New items, as I was saying there, added each and every day, so always make sure you go out and check it when you're across there. You've got up to round about 70% off. You've got some incredible items that are as little as round about £1 and $1, so always worthwhile checking them out every time you're across there. crafterscompanion.co.uk.com or .eu. Now, you will be across on our website, no doubt, probably a few times today, because we have got, well, we've got sewing, we've got a craft along, and we've got very special guests we're going to introduce in a moment. Well, actually, we will do it now because you're going to see them both together. We're starting off, we've got Becky with our sewing, and we've got Mark from Visible Image. Morning, guys.
Good morning.
Oh, I am so giddy. I am so giddy.
Well, we're going to get you sewing today.
You are indeed.
Yep.
You're going to get me sewing.
Yep.
It's a real mixture for me because I'm going to be doing some sewing with you.
Yep.
I've never held the secret how much I just adore and idolise Mark and Visible Image. So I am absolutely giddy for that. And then I've got a craft and craft along at the end of the day.
Exciting, isn't it?
It's going to be so exciting, so much fun. What are we/you going to be doing today?
Well, we've got a brand new launch. These are our custom stitch dies. So this is an example of the kind of thing that you can make. So there are sets of dies. We've got 4 different types of dies that you run through your Gemini. You're going to be cutting out your felt, but it's also going to be cutting tiny little perforations around the edge to allow you to stitch through those really, really easily. So this is just one of the things you're going to be able to see. Now these make great gifts, great ideas for people who just want to start doing a little bit of embroidery, a little bit of stitching. Great for kids, really, really great for kids. And I've got loads of fantastic samples that have been made by the design team. They are just beautiful. I'd like to take the opportunity to think that I made them, but I didn't. They are too good, but they are really well worth having a look at. So look at those on the website. Absolutely,
that's fab. And the new launch that we've got, we'll go over just shortly, you're actually getting 25% off that as well. So that's going to be fun. Paper crafters, please don't disappear and think, maybe not for me. Think about our embroidery craft kit that we launched earlier on in the week. Some of you thought, no, I don't do that. And then you've seen what you could do and then you've gone and bought it. So stay tuned because you still incorporate your paper craft. Talk about paper crafting and stamping. As I was saying, we've got Mark Visible Image.
We have.
Some new items today, haven't we?
Oh yeah, brand new today.
Yeah.
So yeah, 6 new sets and 3 new stencils as well.
Fab.
So we've got some gorgeous items, whether it be for your more feminine kind of cards there. Look really amazing. Very modern, very in, very us. That's the hashtags there. We also have butterfly, which is what we call our antisocial butterfly. Okay. Again, gorgeous with the crackle in there. We also have some other items as well.
That's lovely.
That's very understated, isn't it?
Very, yeah.
We also have this there.
Wow.
Yeah, you light up my world. I think that's gorgeous. I think, you know, having that chandelier there, and we've got lots of different items on there as well. So
that's
stay
incredible.
Tuned.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And we may have a few things that we managed to just bring back, haven't we?
Yes, we have. We've got a few Christmas items as
Absolutely.
well, and some of our other best sellers that have sold previously.
Excellent. It's going to be a fun day, certainly not only just with Visible Image, but, you know, just that mixture of sewing, stamping, as well as the craft along later on today. Right, so shall we get started, and we can kickstart with our brand new launch when it comes to softer side, and you have got what Becky was just going over a moment ago. We've got our Gemini cut and stitch multi craft dies. This is the new launch, so saving 25%. You are going to be paying £50.96 here in the UK, or for you guys stateside, you're going to be paying £58.95. Yes, it's a new launch. but you still get your platinum on top of that. You still get your Club Inspire in general on top of that. If you are platinum, that's coming down to £40.77 or £47.16 for you guys stateside. crafterscombined.co.uk.com.eu. That is the place that you need to go. Of course, go into shop the date. That's where it is all there. Just want to point out, Becky, this is part of the shirt design, this white. I've had a couple of people saying, Craig, the bottom of your shirt's either sticking out or are you wearing a white t-shirt or something else? It's not, it's part of the design on the side. So if you do see that one, I do know it is part. There we go. So George is zooming in. There we go. That's it. Thank you, George. So I do know it's there, Becky.
You said, Becky, I thought you were going to say, could you stitch up my shirt for me? Because it's not unusual for me to come in and Ben to go, Becky, could you just fix my tie? Or Joe to say, could you just fix my shirt?
Yeah.
Or even, actually, I had to alter someone else's dress when I was here before. So
I never thought that. I've got a couple of things as well that just need stitched.
No, don't stop bringing your stuff in. I'm not going to be running a service here.
You say that, but you know.
I don't mind helping out a little bit, but I do not want to start having everyone
coming in.
Yeah,
lining
there I
up.
am darning people's socks. That's just not happening. It's just not happening.
We're going to chat to Becky a lot more just in a moment or two. We've got Chloe on the comments for now. We have got Vicky is saying good evening from Brisbane. We've got Patty saying hello everyone from Michigan. Suzanne is saying good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are from sunny Leicester. Michaela is saying good morning everyone. Aileen is saying good morning from Puerto Rico, 6 a.m. there. Kimberly from North Carolina, we've got Jane, we've got Lillian, we've got Val. Val is saying, hi Craig and Becky and Mark of Visible Image. Looking forward to today's demos. Val in Southampton. It's lovely to see your name popping up. And last but by no means least for now, because we've got loads coming through, Amanda saying, good morning. Just put, morning, amazing Craig and lovely Becky. Bless you, Amanda.
Aww.
Thank you so much. I'm not going to hide the fact that, you know, I don't do sewing a lot. I am really looking forward to this because I'm going to be learning from Becky. I'm going to be doing a little bits and pieces as well. Any questions, whether you are a sewist, maybe you are into your paper crafting, you want to see how you can incorporate these with your paper crafting. Maybe you need some hints and tips if you need to sew up the bottom of your trousers or shirts. Well, we've got the perfect person here now that can talk you through it. But yeah, any questions, get them through and Chloe will give us a helping hand feeding them through. But it is about our new launch, this one being our cut and stitch multi-craft die. 48 dies in total, 16 sheets of felt already selling, £50.96 or $58.95. Just to say, always the best deal is in the bundle. You can get them individually if you so wish. You'll probably see that you can... So wish.
Hey.
See what I done? See what I done? There we go. But when it comes to the dies, not the felt, but the dies, you can actually get 2 for £23 or 2 for $27 if you want. So we've got a nice selection there that's going to cater for your pocket. As we always say, the best saving always comes from the big bundle. Right, Becky, what are these all about?
So, these would be perfect for you, Craig, because I know Craig's really keen on his cross stitch. He likes doing a little bit of cross stitch. And actually, this is quite a good sort of introduction into a bit of sewing. So what you're going to be getting, you're going to be getting our multimedia dies. So of course, if you do want to cut those out of card and you want to do some stitching on card, you absolutely can do that. But they've been particularly made to be used with the particular felts that we've got on the show today. This felt is a little bit more rigid than the ordinary kind of felt. It will work with all sorts of felts. It would probably actually work with cotton fabric, but because it's going to be cutting tiny little perforations, you'll find you get the best finish from felt, because obviously felt doesn't fray. Okay. But I've got a few samples here so you can see the kind of thing that you can make. So this is just a table runner, but you can see how effective that looks with all of those beautiful little embellishments that you've got here. And so this is just one of those die sets. So you get those sort of swirly butterfly trails. You get the butterflies in the two different different sizes. You've also got those flowers as well, and that's just one of those packs of dies. So you can see embellishing them looks really, really good. Now this, I have to say, is my absolute favourite because I think this is stunning.
Oh, Becky.
That is so beautiful, isn't it? Just by using the dies with the flowers and the little leaves, it looks so effective. Really, really beautiful and very easy to achieve. Now, I will show you how they work completely, but I just want to show you a few more samples here.
Okay, please do, yeah.
Look at that. Look how pretty that is. So these could be used for all sorts of different projects that you might want to do. Perhaps you're doing a larger quilt, you want to do a little bit of embellishment around the outside, and perhaps you want to make these an absolute core feature. This could work really well.
Yeah.
Now this is a little clutch bag with a kaleidoscope of butterflies on the front, and it looks absolutely beautiful. Now you'll be able to see there how the stitching is done. So where all those stitches have been produced are going into little holes, little perforated holes that have been cut out using those dies. So it makes it really easy to achieve this kind of look, and really simple because you're literally just sort of following, you know, following the pattern.
Yeah.
Couple more here. So this is a little bag that's just been embellished. So again, you could just buy an ordinary bag and then embellish that any way you want with all those little dies.
Yeah.
And you do get different kind of patterns within them. So we'll open each one up and you can see what you're going to be getting. And then finally, this one I think is so lovely.
Isn't it?
Having
Yeah.
kind of hoop art is something really, really popular at the moment. And this would look beautiful just hung up on a wall, maybe with some sort of embroidery on it, sort of for a child's bedroom maybe, something like that.
That's true,
but
yeah.
really, really gorgeous things.
Yeah.
And then finally, I've got this one, which is, I have to say, one of my favourites. And basically what I'm going to be mimicking this kind of idea for my my first demo.
Okay.
It's actually a needle case, so you open it up and you
Wow.
can pop all your needles inside, which is quite handy, but it's just literally made out of those two hearts. And you can see you've got these swirls in here. Swirls.
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 With no pearls, but swirls. I love listening to Craig saying swirls. I'll try and make him
Can
do
you
it as
put any
often as I
squirrels in
possibly
it?
can. Huh?
Any squirrels in it?
No,
No.
no squirrels, unfortunately. But you can see how effective that looks. Very kind of Scandinavian kind of look to it. But definitely this kind of heart would be great for you to perhaps do sort of kind of Christmas tree decorations, that kind of thing.
That's
that would
true,
work
yeah.
really well.
That would look really good.
Yeah.
And you know, and I'm thinking in paper crafting terms, if you were to do what you've just shown there, but by simply changing the colour of the fabric,
Yep.
you know, it's going to look different. For instance, that one there that you showed with the hoop, with the blue. I
Yeah.
know I always point this out, you know, we know that girls like blue and boys like pink, you know, we know that nowadays, but if you are keeping it to the colour of the sex of the baby, changing that background to the pink, you know, then you can put it into baby's bedroom or something along those lines. Love that. But we also have some fabrics as well. Oh, we have got, and I think these are beautiful. Now, straight away, I'm looking at them in a paper crafting eyes. So if these were papers, these would be beautiful. But because these are in fabrics, this is your Dashwood Studio, New Beginnings. This one being, I'm just going to check, we've got Ben and George in the gallery. Have we got these ones in the order, just so I know that I'm talking about the correct things? Although I'm sure Becky will please feel free to point out if it is not the right one. But this one being Cream Swan. This one here. Now, when it comes to these are a price per half metre. So $7.49 or $10.99. That is the price per half metre. Now, you've got that. I'm not going to open them all up because you can really see the design on that front there. So then what we've also got here, our next one being all the water lilies here. So this is the New Beginnings water lilies. All of these ones, $7.49 or $10.99, and these are all priced at half metres. Absolutely gorgeous. You've got a lot of pastel tones within this one here, incorporating your light browns, your light chocolates, etc., etc. You still get your platinum even on these fabrics here, $5.99 or $8.79, also priced at your half metre. This one here being Flight. So you can see how well that looks. Even so far, just how well all of these work. The whole collection is all going to work from the Dashwood Studios. Going into our next one here is our large flower. Another beautiful one. You know, you can then be doing many different products. I'm not even going to pretend to know the sort of things that you can be making. We'll have a chat to Becky later on with a lot more ideas. $7.49, $10.99 per half metre. Going to be using these within demos, of course, throughout the show and softer side. This is a really, really nice one. This is like, it's on the verge of a really deep navy into a really dark grey, dark grey within this one, right at that background. And it is, and respectfully, this is just like someone's got paint splodges and just gone over it.
Bit of a Jackson Pollock.
Yeah, absolutely. That was exactly what I had in my mind, not paint splodge in them. So that one there being the navy spot. They've then got mustard circle. Now, straight off the bat, you think this is circles. These are actually birds in flight in all of these little circles in here. So you've got some, when I say larger ones, some are larger than the other ones. Really nice pattern, this one as well.
Yeah, really pretty.
With that mustard in the background, hence mustard circle.
Yeah.
$7.49, $10.99 per half metre. And I shouldn't have favourites, but I'm actually going to say either this one or the navy are my favourites. This one here, I love the colour tone. I love that really, it's on the verge of our ice grey too, to our ice blue classic pens, but then you've got those dash lines all the way along. You've got mustard, you've got peach, you've got navy in there. Really, really do like these ones here. All of these that I've showed you, just so that you know, this one is pale dash. All of them, as I've been pointing out, are $7.49 or $10.99 price per half metre. You have, I believe, Becky, on the website, you've got an option if you want, obviously, you know, a metre or more. So you can just select.
Yeah, it's going to be cut for you off the bolt, so you can just order as many metres as you like, because they're beautiful and they're really lovely and soft.
They are actually.
You know, unfortunately you can't feel them.
No,
but you have to take our word for it. They're absolutely beautiful to use, and I will be using them on the shows later on. I've got a couple of demonstrations using those, including the builder block. Yeah. And I'm not going to sing the song just yet, because I'm going to surprise Craig with a song a bit later. Craig, do you know about the song?
No.
Oh. You have to wait till later.
Okay. We're going to have to wait till later on. Well then, I'm intrigued, from your song to my song. You know, just saying, check out mine and Ben's social last night. You got a front row performance this morning, didn't you, from me and Ben?
I do wish I'd been at the back row, but yeah, I got a front row performance.
Cheeky.
I know,
There you go. Check out our social. You know exactly what we're all about. A couple of comments before we jump across to Becky. We've got Suzanne is saying, as soon as people know you have a sewing machine, all the alterations start coming in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I don't want anyone to know. I also don't want anyone to know I've got lots of sewing machines that are all spangly and they've all been polished and everything. Yeah, I'm going to keep it quiet. I don't sew. No,
and actually, you can just say, yesterday, outside we've got a big table where we're chatting, we're prepping all that. We had all the sewing machines out, and we had a maintenance guy going over them all. I tell you, it was like a line of sewing machines. So they're all fresh and newly...
Fresh out the box.
Maintained, basically. We've also got Aileen is saying, beautiful. Amanda is saying, very nice. This is going back to the samples Becky was showing. And Linda is saying, good morning, Becky, Craig, CTV crew, and all of you crafty people out there watching with sleepy eyes. Still early here. So I'm presuming you're stateside, and I'm maybe going to say, you know, you are maybe either 6 a.m, you might be 3 a.m, who knows. But yeah, we are up and about, nice and bright. One other thing across on our website, Fiverr Friday. So if you have a look there.
I always like Fiverr Friday. I always see something that I want.
There's always something. Yeah. There's always something. Check it out, crafterscompanion.co.uk.com.au. You've got a nice selection. Because it's Friday, there's a selection of items that are, well, a fiver. That's why they've come up with the name Fiverr Friday. Yeah. Works well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you can check them out while you're having a look at the new launch, which is all about the cut-in stitch multimedia dies, 48 dies and 16 sheets of felt. So you're getting everything that you're seeing with on the screen right now. You've got your saving of 25%, even although it is a brand new launch. That 25% saving is on today's price, £50.96 or $58.95. Platinum comes down to £40.77 or $47.16. There is an option when it comes to the dies. If you just want to cherry pick two, you can get two for £23 or $27. If you just want the rainbow felt, that is also new today. Obviously, it's in the bundle, but that is $15.99 or $18.95. If maybe you just want that, or maybe you want the bundle plus an extra batch of the felt, that's entirely up to you. Check out Shop the Day Across on their website. Lots and lots of things you're going to find there, from paper crafting, stamping, and of course, our softer side. Right, Becky, they're saying in my ear, let's go.
Let's go. Excellent. Now, before we get started, I want to show you the difference between the felts.
Okay.
Because this is a felt you're going to be getting in that bundle over there. This is thicker than normal felt. So this is another piece of felt. This is ordinary felt. So you can see how it's much more rigid. Either will work, but this is a little bit easier to sew through because it is a little bit more rigid. And it feels, I don't even know how to describe it. It feels a little bit crunchier.
Okay.
That's my, so you can just see that's going to stand upright quite easily. That isn't. But you could use this for any kind of fabric, although I would say if you're going to be using it with ordinary cotton fabric, you will find that where the little perforations are, it won't cut so nicely because it will then fray, and obviously felt is the way to go. But this felt has been specifically designed to go with these particular dyes, so I definitely would say it's well worth doing. But again, if you've already got some other felt, it will work. But I just wanted to show you the difference in those.
Oh, absolutely,
so
yeah.
First of all, we're going to have a look at the rainbow one. So I'm going to show you what you're going to be getting in each one of these. So you're going to be getting these different dyes, and you're also getting these little perforated dyes.
Okay.
So some of them in the other boxes can contain, sort of different shapes, but you'll also be getting extra shapes. So you've got this long straight line, so you could effectively just have almost like raindrops coming down. So you could have, you've got little, what are these called? Clouds, not butterflies, a few hearts, and then you've got these little raindrops down here as well. So if I was going to be taking these off here, you can see that that's going to cut the outside of my little rainbow, and then this bit will pop inside, and then that will cut all those perforations to create those holes. But if you didn't want to do that, you wanted to use them separately, you could, as we've done here, we've just used the outside of those to cut all those different colours and then stitch them together. So they've got a little bit of backing fabric on here, and we've created this really beautiful kind of rainbow bunting. So these are really, really versatile, but they have been designed in order for you to sort of place them here, cut everything out, and then stitch along this perforated hole. So that is your rainbow one that you've got first of all. So you've got your raindrops on here, you've got your clouds, a few little hearts, and all of these work really well together. So if you're going to be buying the whole set, and as you say, it's always better to buy a whole bundle because it gives you the best value. Yeah. These will all work together. So that's your rainbow one.
Can I just quickly ask, see that die at the top that you pointed out could be raindrops?
Yeah.
So even if you were, I'm thinking of paper crafting as well, if you just used that one alone and die cut it, then moved it down, die cut it, moved it down, can you then create your own borders or panels just with that one alone?
Yeah, you absolutely could. Yeah, there's nothing to stop you from doing that. So I sort of thought, well, it would almost be, if that was your design, you'd have sort of raindrops coming down like this. You have those stitches. Yeah, you can use all of these. These are our multimedia dies, so they are thicker than the normal paper craft dies. They are going to be able to cut 2 layers of this thick felt together. Okay. But yes, you can absolutely use them for paper craft. And that's what I really like about the fact that we do make things that are able to be used in lots of different ways, because I think that's the worst thing. You don't want something you can only use once for one particular project. You want something you can use for all sorts of different things,
absolutely,
don't you?
Yeah.
So your next one here are your butterflies. Again, you've got the same kind of format in that you've got these outer dies to cut around the edge. So this is going to cut the actual butterfly out, which you could use for, you could just use this for applique. You might just want to use a shape like that. You might want to use that in your paper crafting. But then these inner ones are the ones with all of those little perforations to create those holes. Again, you can just use these perforated ones. You could, like that. You could put them like this without that outer edge on a piece of felt. So maybe you had a panel like so going on a cushion, and you just wanted to have the butterflies but still keep them contained within that piece of fabric. This would then cut all those perforations out without cutting that outside edge. So you could then sort of stitch on those and you get a slightly different feel to them again. So you've got that big sort of front-on butterfly, and then you've got the side-on butterfly, but you've also got these other little embellishments as well. So you've got smaller butterfly shapes as well as flowers. You've got the like butterfly trail. That's what I'm calling calling it butterfly trail. I don't know, there must be an official name for that. You know, almost like the hazy, you know.
I've always known it as a trail.
Yeah, it's butterfly. We're going to call it a butterfly trail.
Yeah.
And then you've also got some other little embellishments as well for you to use. Then we go on to the flower, and as you can probably see, the flower and the butterfly obviously work really well together. Once again, you're going to be getting your outside dies as well as those inside ones with all those perforations. You're getting in your leaves, but you've also got these long ones here, so these are slightly curved. Now these are to enable you to cut your stems, but you don't actually get an outside edge, so you can make your stems as thick or as thin as you actually want to do.
Okay.
So again, gives you a little bit more flexibility. And then finally, you've got your heart-shaped ones. And now these are going to be, I always think sort of hearts are sort of key for Christmas, key for all sorts of other times of the year. And we've given you lots of different options with this. So you could use the outside edge, just like so. You could then use this one, which has those perforations just going around the edge.
Okay.
You could then use some of those smaller hearts and place them inside, or you could use this larger one, which has got all those swirls in it. But then there's nothing to stop you from taking that off and just using it like that. So you've got lots of different options with all those different hearts, and it's all going to work really well together. And the heart one is the one I'm going to be using first of all. So what I'm going to do is I am going to cut, I'm going to do 2 layers of this felt. And so I've already pre-cut my shapes I'm going to be actually using in the demonstration, but I want to show you how they go through the Gemini.
Okay.
Obviously, with your Gemini or whichever die cutting machine that you have, sometimes with the dies and the fabric that you're using, you might just have to have a little bit of a sort of play around and find out what works for you, because sometimes if you're using much thicker fabric than before, you may need to put an extra shim in. I'm not using my fabric plates here because I find that these work much better just using the plates that you get with your Gemini, because you're not cutting multiple layers of fabric like you do with the builder block dies when you're cutting through 6 or 8 layers of cotton. Okay. You're just cutting through 2 layers of felt here. So I'm using my clear plate, I'm using my metal shim, I'm going to use the frosted plastic plate, and then I'm going to use that clear plate over the top. So I'm going to take my fabric, so these are 2 pieces of my, my felt, and then I'm going to place them facing down. I'm just going to use those 2 hearts, that sort of swirly heart, swirly heart, just here in the middle. I'm not going to use the other die, so I'm just going to take those down with a bit of low tack tape.
And it's the options then, isn't it?
It does, and
options.
I love the fact that we've got lots of different options, because you know it then makes it super well worthwhile popping them in your basket. Clear shim over the top, then that clear plate, and then we'll pop that through the Gemini.
Excellent.
And as you can see, by the whole host of ones that I've already cut out, I had a great time playing with all of these. So you can see all of those different shapes that I've cut out, because I didn't know what inspiration was going to hit me.
That's it, yeah.
Exactly.
Is that something sometimes you do, if you know you've maybe got projects to make, but you're not necessarily sure, not necessarily what you're going to do, but the colours you're going to do, do you just take some of your scrap fabric or that, just cut loads and then just set them out, you know, whether, and I know I've heard people say this, where they'll literally throw them down, just to see what it creates, and sometimes you get colour inspiration that way? For
me, it's really quite key to see what fabrics I get on a show. That is really, or if it's a particular, you know, a special day, you know, I like a theme. So for me, it's really important to have a look at the fabrics, and quite often I don't get the fabrics, I don't find out about the fabrics until maybe 2 or 3 days before the show.
Right, okay.
So I tend to I cut all of these out ages ago, so I had lots of options, so I know I can just sort of make them work. So we've cut that one out. You can see, you can't see any perforations, but if I pull these 2 pieces apart, you will see that that one, that top piece, has almost the perforations have actually come out on the second piece.
Yeah, they have, haven't they?
It's just a question of just giving them a little bit of a ruffle, I would say, a ruffle, like this. Sometimes you may get a few that are a little bit, they don't want to come out. They want to stay at home. They want to play on the computer. They're like teenage boys. You just need to give them a little bit of a, you know, sort of a nudge to get them out, and just poke them out with a, not poke them out with a needle, because that's not what I do with teenage boys. But you know what I mean. Just need to give them a little bit of poke using your pokey tool, perhaps. Now you will find if you've put, you know, maybe if you only put 1 layer of felt in there, it might be that they need a little bit more of a hoiking out.
Right.
So I definitely would say if you're going to cut one out, you might as well cut two, because you'll always use them, and you just need to sort of hoik all of those out, and you will see you get that really pretty design coming through. And you can probably see it a little bit better on that one because that's still got some of those blue ones in there. And that's basically what you do with all of those little shapes. So if I put those to one side, and I'll put that mess on the floor for John to shout at me a little bit later.
Don't you worry, because I'm on at the end of the day, and you know what I'm like.
Yeah.
It's the craft. We'll touch upon it later on, but it's nesting dies. So I'm telling you, that floor is going to be covered in die cut pieces. So don't you worry.
In which case,
it's me that cleans it up. I clean it up after me.
These are tiny little pieces that you've got in here, so they do get everywhere. So this is what my red piece would look like. This is my red heart. So this is the one that I thought, actually, you know, this could be used at all parts of the year. You know, great for Valentine's Day, great for weddings, but you know, you'll definitely get a lot of use out of this. And what we're going to do is we're going to be just stitching it onto a piece of cotton fabric, which I haven't even ironed, which is very remiss of me. I don't understand why I didn't do that, but I haven't ironed it. But what I am going to do is I'm going to use a tiny little bit of textile glue. Now this is the textile glue that we have on our website. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to place a couple of little dabs of glue in here just to keep it in place. So I'm not going over any of those perforations. I'm just placing that there, down here. And I'm just going to use that just to secure that onto my piece of fabric. You could, of course, just use a pin or something like that. But once you start stitching this, it's all going to hold itself together. Now, we've also got a piece of, this is your normal kind of embroidery thread. This is, embroidery thread is always 6 strands. And we're using the full 6 strands on this because these...
the full set?
The full set,
right,
yeah.
Okay.
Which is why I was struggling a little bit earlier on, so threading this needle.
Yeah.
Because I'm old and because I find it quite difficult to thread.
You're not old, don't be daft.
I'm terribly old. I am old. I'm older than everyone else in the building now. Well, in here anyway.
Becky, I'm just going to say, in case anyone's wondering what's on the bottom of the screen, what you were just using a minute ago, the textile glue, it's actually in a bundle. You've got a full wad of felt and the textile glue. That one is our sew and deal of the week, $14.23 or $18.33. Just while you were using it there, Becky, I thought it was worthwhile shouting it out.
No, definitely worth. It's definitely worth popping into your basket, particularly if you ever do any patchworking and you're using any of our builder block dies, and you going to be sewing around curves.
Okay.
It really comes into its own. So full 6 strands here. And I'm not going to put a knot in it, and I'm just going to do a back stitch. So I'm just going, come out of that first hole, I'm just going to go down that one, like so. And then I'm going to move to the next one. I'm not going to stab myself with my needle, just be careful. And we're just going to go out at that next hole here, and then back on yourself.
Okay.
And that's how you're going to embellish this particular design. So I'm just going to do that like so. So we're going to sew around in that little swirl here. So I'm going to carry on doing that until, I won't be able to do the whole thing, but I have got one that I've already finished, but I'm just going to carry on doing that for a little bit of time so you can see how that comes together. And then I'm going to show you how to make that into a very quick and easy pincushion.
Okay. Are you just freehanding your design? Are you?
No, because you've already got those perforations.
So you're just following,
You're
right,
just following those
Yeah,
perforations, so you're making it really, really simple. And you're doing the same thing with all of these different designs. So where you've got your butterfly here, you would just be following those little perforations going all around. So you could use any kind of thread that you wanted to use. I definitely say you want to use something quite thick, like a full strand of embroidery thread, or a perle thread, which is quite similar, but it's got a bit of a sheen to it. But yeah, you're just following those little lines, which makes it really easy. If you're a bit worried about embroidery, you know, you're not too sure about all those different kind of designs that you can get, all you're literally doing is just stitching around in a straight line.
So I suppose then maybe it's just like join the dots.
Yes.
But you're doing it with your thread.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. So we're just going to carry on stitching it around like so. Like that.
So So they're just following around.
So just following in that little sort of little
Yeah.
swirl all the way
Swirl.
around. And actually these look amazing if you're going to be using some kind of variegated thread or some silver or gold, particularly for Christmas.
Yeah.
But I think having these sort of red and the white, it's almost like a Scandinavian kind of theme to it, isn't
Yeah.
it? Like so.
What I will, if it's all right with you, Becky, if I
Yep.
can just show something, that'll give you a wee moment or two,
Yep.
because you're just following the line, aren't you?
Yeah, just following that line. Yep.
So we'll not come away from Becky for too long, but just to give Becky that little bit of time to sew a wee bit. What we will do is we'll give you a little bit of a heads up of our craft along that's later on. So that's going to be 7 o'clock tonight. We will be here from 6 p.m. or 1 p.m. Eastern time, 10 a.m. Pacific time. We've got Mark Invisible Image for that first hour. Then it'll be myself and Becky. We'll do a swap. I'll be across there. Becky will be here, and we'll have our Christmas nest and die craft along. So I tell you what, I'll show you. Well, this is what we're going to be making. So this is what we're going to be making here with our Frosty and Bright cardstock collection. Now the cardstock, we do have a lovely bundle on the website. It'll be on the shop today. We're going to do a little bit of flower forming. However, we're not heat activating it. We're just creating the poinsettias. But this is using, all that focal point is using the Christmas nest and die, the holly die. Now what I did do, it houses 2 crackers. Now these ones, it would be impossible for me to do all of this in the 2 hours. So if you go back to my Facebook page on Wednesday night, I done a Facebook Live from home where I made these 2 crackers, and these fit inside the box, all from Frosty and Bright. But then what we've done is the main craft along itself will be the top part here. So we'll make the whole box, and then inside, if you want to go back and make the crackers with our scoreboard that we used to have, you can absolutely do that. That's the craft along. So you can get your Christmas nest and die element collection, where you're getting 24 dies and 10 sheets of Centura Pearl cardstock. So let's have a look at the boards to see what you're going to be getting within the collection. You know what I'm like, I love my Christmas nest and dies. I love my nest and dies. We've got sparkling snowflake. We've then got beautiful baubles. We've also got our Yuletide bloom. We've also got our festive foliage. We've also got our Starry Night. And then this is the one we'll be using in our craft along. You might want to change it, but I'm going to be using the hollies and berries. All of these you've got, you know, between 3 and 4 dies within each set, but you're also getting a full pack of our cherry Centura Pearl 310 GSM. So that is what you're going to get in that main collection, $63.95 or $74.79. Platinum is down to $51.16 or $59.83. And while we'll just give Becky just another moment or two, what we're going to do, let's go over the shopping list so that you can get a good head start here. You are going to need, and I'm actually going to come a little bit closer to the screen, you can't see it because I can't see with my eyes, the Gemini Holly and Berry die set, Centura Pearl, Hint of Silver, A3 card. Frosty and Bright, A4 luxury card. Frosty and Bright, Polar Blue, water reactive ink. Matte black card, Winter White, White Blessing Sentiment stamp. Winter White, Splendid Poinsettia die. And Winter White, Flower Forming Foam. Metallic stamens, oval nest and dies, alcohol-proof ink pad noir black. And then your additional elements, tape pen and red liner tape, 3D foam pads, Collal tacky glue, hot glue, scissors, poke tool, large guillotine, and your scoreboard, your Scoremaster is fine, Gemini Junior, blending tool, and also a tiny little bit of very thin jewellery wire. That is what you're going to need for the 2-hour craft alongs. Like I say, the show later on, craft along as such, the show will be 3 hours. We're going to have Mark Invisible Image for the first hour, and then it'll be myself and Becky for that last 2 hours. Becky, will we jump back to you?
That
Perfect.
sounds, when you were reading that out, it sounds like a I don't know if anyone remembers the generation game.
Yes.
Where they would have all these things coming past and you had to remember as many things as possible. That was what it was like.
Do you know what I actually done? All that product you see in the photo was actually my product.
Was it?
Poor Jamie, I knew that he would be darting all over the place. He'll be at Tracy and John saying, can I get this, can I get this, can I get this? So I just put all of my collection that I used in a box and I handed it to Jamie and went, there you go, you can take a photo of all of that. He was like, oh my God, he says, thank you so much for that. So yeah, it is one that, generation game, try to remember it all.
I love a craft along, and I'm particularly excited about this one because I've got everything that's on the list.
Have you?
I have, apart from the A3 cards. That's the only thing I haven't got.
Have you
but
not
I've got Winter White, and I've got
a couple
Frosty.
of sheets from here.
I might have to, mightn't I?
Yeah.
So no one will know.
No one will
Keep
know.
it a secret. So you can see in that little bit of time, I've sewn those 2 pieces. So you can see it's very quick to put together.
Yeah.
Now, what I've done is I've got one that I've already sort of finished off here. So I've just stitched around that. And then I've cut a heart-shaped out of here. Now, what I have done, and this is a secret. Okay, it's a big secret.
Okay.
I've used this shape. This is a brand new launch that's coming out later. I can't tell you what it is, but it's this shape. That's all I'm going to say. So I just used the thing that's coming out in a few weeks' time to cut that shape here. So what I'm going to do, I've got 2 pieces of white cotton. I'm going to cut around here, and then I'm going to stitch those 2 pieces together, right sides together, to create like a little pouch. And then I've got a whole load of just some sort of wadding that I'm going to use as sort of padding to go inside here. And this actually came from our animal key rings that we had a few months ago with the felt. So if you do have some of that left, that's basically what I'm using here. Now, generally speaking, when you're making a pin cushion, you want something in the pin cushion to make it sharp.
Okay.
So often you would use walnut shells. So ground walnut shells or sand, because each time you pop your pin inside, it would effectively sharpen your pin.
No way.
That would be what you would do. But I haven't got any of that today, so we just have to pretend. But if you're going to be making an official kind of one that was going to sharpen your pins as you use it, that's the kind of thing that you would use.
I never, ever thought about keeping your pin sharp.
Yeah, I'm full of useless information.
That's good information. That is really good information.
Right, so I'm just going to cut around the heart here. So I'm just cutting those 2 layers of fabric. I've pinned them together. I've just cut around the edge with my heat erasable pen to create that shape, but nothing to stop you from making a square one if you want to make it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
And we're just going to stitch around here, right sides together, and create that little heart-shaped pin cushion. I always think, actually, the pin cushion, obviously I have our metallic pin cushion, magnetic pin cushions on the show, but at home I also do have a pin cushion which is heart-shaped. In fact, it's probably even in my bag today.
Okay.
I tend to have a heart-shaped one. So I'll pin those together by mistake. So we've done that, and then we're going to do this, put those 2 pieces together. Like so, just pin them, and we're going to stitch around the outside, but we are going to leave a little gap. So we're going to leave that little gap so we can turn it round, and we've also got a little gap so we can actually stuff your pin cushion. So very quick and easy design, but these little shapes, these dies, are going to be something that you'll use again and again because they're so versatile. Use them for so many different things. So we're going to do a little mark here, and then another mark, I think about here. And we're going to start stitching here and finish here, and we've just got a little space in order for stuffing. I think it might make it just there. So just using my sewing machine, I've got some bright orange thread in here just for fun, but just use your 1/4 inch seam allowance to stitch around the outside. And like you say, I've got brand new, all singing, all dancing, all serviced sewing machines, which is very exciting. I was extremely excited when I came into work today. I did ask for that, yeah. I did ask for them to all be serviced.
Oh my God, they're done.
It's one of those things, my one at home needs servicing and I keep putting it off, and I just think, oh, actually we should get them all done while we're here.
How long do they need to be serviced for?
It depends how often you use them.
Okay.
I mean, I should have mine serviced every couple of years, and it certainly has been about 4 or 5 years. In fact, one of them I think it's been forever. I don't think it's ever been serviced, and I've had it for about 10 years. And it's a bit temperamental. now, and that's my problem because I've not had it serviced.
Right, okay.
But it depends. If you're using them all the time, then obviously, you know, they get a bit more of a hammering. If you're not going to be using them too often, it's not so bad. My daughter's one doesn't get serviced very often. She doesn't use it She doesn't use it enough.
Yeah. Is there a lot of sewing machine service men and ladies out there?
No, well, I think it's quite difficult to find, and it's quite expensive, you know, to get somebody. But then you know, it's a bit like my servicing a car. You don't really want, you know, someone that doesn't really know what they're doing to be sort of fiddling around with your car. So you know, it's like anything, you get what you pay for. But when I was young, we always used to have a gentleman that used to come to the studio and just. You know, when my mum and dad worked at Shepperton, and he just used to come in and he'd spend a whole day just servicing all the machines, and he'd come every month, not every month, every 6 months, because they were just being used all the time. But they're industrial machines, so slightly different.
Oh, right, okay, so a little bit different.
Yeah. So what we're doing here is I'm just using my scissors. So I've stitched all the way around the outside. You can see where that gap is. I'm just using my scissors just to make a little notch around on the curves, and that just allows us to turn the fabric out a little bit easier. Now where we've got the point, I just want to trim that here, so we've got less of a bulk, and it just means that we can then sort of poke out that little point of the heart a little bit easier. So we've just done a couple of stitches back and forth at the beginning and the end, and we're just going to very gently turn this the right way round.
I wondered why you'd had it like sewed inside out, back to front.
So some people call this the birthing of your product, or your bag. But you can see, you know, basically you're turning it around the right way in order to get that design. Okay. And what I'm doing here is I'm just using my finger just to push against that seam here, and that just makes it nice and smooth. So it just needs a little bit of fiddling around to make sure that you've got it all working right. But what we're going to do, because we're going to stuff it, and that should help everything. So we're just starting with a small piece of that stuffing, and we're just going to just keep adding into here until it's all looking sort of nice and puffy.
Yeah,
everyone
nice
likes a
and
puffy
puffy.
heart.
Can you put too much or too little in there?
If you don't want too little, because otherwise it's just going to look like a sad heart.
Oh, not yet.
But if you put too much in there, then you won't be able to put it all together and then seal it all up. Now I've become a little bit obsessed with hearts because I've been listening to the new Robert Galbraith book. So Robert Galbraith is the pen name of J.K. Rowling. And she's done a whole load of he's like a private eye kind of crime novels, and they're really, really good. And the latest one's just come out. It's already a bestseller, and it's called the Ink Black Heart. So everything I've been doing lately has been heart related, and I couldn't work out why. Yeah. And then when I was travelling up here, I was like, oh, it might be the 35 hours of audio book I've been listening to, all about a heart.
All about the heart.
Yeah. But if you're looking for something to listen to, something to watch, they're really good series of books.
Right, yeah. Yeah, just have it on while you're doing it.
Yeah, because obviously I do quite a lot of driving, so I sometimes need something to alleviate the boredom. But as you've told me today, Heart is going to be bringing out all their sort of Christmas songs, you said. So that will be what I'm listening to on the journey back home.
Yes, a certain radio station in the UK, Heart Radio. One of their DAB stations is now Heart Christmas.
Very exciting. Because it's, how long did we say, 96 days?
They were saying 96 days.
Yeah, 96 days. That's not long.
Yeah, that's what they were saying.
It's going to come around quickly. And that's why I'm particularly pleased you're doing Craft Along, and it's all the Christmas collections that I've already got, which makes it really good for me. Now, so I've just pinned that round so you can see that's how my heart's looking. I need to finish off the edge here, so I'm going to be using a little bit of a white thread, and I will endeavour to try and thread this needle so I can stitch that by hand.
Okay. I've actually got some more fabric here. I'm going to quickly show you just while Becky does that. We've got boho, and Enchanted Dreams. I can see Enchanted Dreams very well. Fabric bundle. We've got, sorry Ben, I thought you were ready to say something in my ear there. So 2 fat quarters.
This is why that because it made no sense to me. Yeah, it's too good a deal, that one, as far as I'm concerned.
So you are going to be paying for this.
The fat quarters.
Fat quarters.
Yeah. So how big is a fat quarter?
These are all classed as fat quarters.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So you're going to be getting all of that, $27.98 or $30.90. So you have got boho, boohoo, boho. What is
so
it?
boho.
So boho.
Yeah.
And then you've also got your enchanted dream. So all of that is coming to you for that price on your screen. So all of them there, so you can be doing lots of sewing with them if you want to. So that's them. You can still incorporate them in your paper crafts, the backgrounds and that, all of them you could be doing. This is what caught my eye earlier on. This works out as buy one, get one free. Now this one, I can absolutely chat about these. These are still your multimedia die collections. You've got two elements here. Now what I'm intrigued to do is to be doing some of our die cutting these into cardstock, and then I can go in and do some little bits of sewing. Create my own little designs in the middle there that you could see. You're getting both of these ones. Just to reiterate, these are multimedia dies. You're getting them both $11.99 or $16.95. You can see that saving there, $11.99, $16.95. That's because it works out as buy one, get one free. Under £10 platinum for both, $9.59 or $13.56. I was really, really intrigued with these ones, Becky, because I thought it could be a lot of fun. You've got total free reign then on little designs and patterns that you could do, couldn't you?
And they cut out brilliantly from craft card.
Yeah.
And they look really, really good. And yeah, absolutely, you could do all sorts, use them for, you know, little sentiments for Christmas, but you also, you know, you can do all sorts of different designs on there. They're really, really versatile. Definitely worth having.
Really, really like that idea, absolutely. So we're still just having a look at our brand new launch. We're seeing what Becky's just doing now, but you can see all of it on your screen. 48 dies, 16 sheets of felt, $58.96 or $58.94. That's where you're getting your saving for today. $40.77 or £40.77 or $40.16. How's your heart coming along, Becky?
It's all right, as my heart's okay. So I'm just doing a little bit of a quick stitch. Now, I would be doing this much neater if I was doing this at home, but I would be doing it up here so you wouldn't be able to see what I'm doing. Okay. So I'm just going to stitch across here. But very, very quick and easy. Yeah, absolutely incorporating this with your embroidery, you know, your quilts that you might be making, but also for your paper craft. I like things that match. So if I was going to be giving something like this as a gift, I would want to be making a gift tag that echoed whatever I was making. So I'd want to make a heart-shaped gift tag or perhaps a heart-shaped card to go with it. And you absolutely can do that with these dies. So I'm just going to give that a little bit of a trim here. Oops, like so. And I'm just going to give my heart a little bit of a pounding just to make sure my heart's puffy all over. And there you've got your finished quick little pin cushion.
How fab is that? Being able to make that with our brand new launch today, which is our Stitch Media Craft dies. That was, of course, using the heart, but in total you are going to get 48 dies and 16 sheets of felt. $50.96 or $58.95. We're away to do a little bit of a switcheroo. Before we go, we've got Alison is saying good morning. Pam is saying, morning everyone, just joining in. I can't believe it is exactly to the hour a year ago I was on Craft Factor. Woohoo! A year ago, remember you, Pam? Because I wasn't in that day. Oh, I was in that day, but I was, oh gosh, I'm trying to think now. Suzanne is saying, Craig, I'm wondering if the Cracker template board is still available. It's not available on our site, but I know many that watched my live had said that they've managed to find it on, you know, the other selling sites that you can find. So that is out there, just not on our website. Lillian is saying, if you ran a lint roller over the felt, it might take the little dots out, maybe. It's worth a shot. Becky's saying, yeah, you could do that one. We've also got Alison saying, absolutely stunning, Craig. I missed Wednesday night as two friends were staying, but we'll catch up later on. Couple more just coming through. There was one I thought, I wanted to read that one out, but it's gone now. Sandra saying, Becky, if you need, you can call on mine and I will give you a few sheets of A3 cardstock. There you go. taking her up on that offer. Angela is saying, pretty stitching on that stuffed heart. Lovely to watch a soft craft project on a wake-up call. Thank you very much. And Stephen is saying, quick way to thread a needle is to place the cotton on a toothbrush, then press the needle. Quick way to thread a needle is to place the cotton on a toothbrush, then press the needle into that toothbrush.
Oh.
Oh. Becky's gone, oh. I've there was actually someone that just said there, Sandra, did Gemini John do the sewing machines, Becky? No, he never, but he's just appeared at that window. I've not seen him in about two and a half years, and as you've just said that comment, he's just popped up at that window there. No, it wasn't Gemini John that done the sewing machines. That is so freaky. So freaky, that is. Right, we're going to give you a couple of moments because we've got quite a few of you that have got some of our new launch in your basket. So to give you the opportunity to check it out, while Becky pops out and Mark pops in, we'll give you a couple of minutes to check out all this information all about our Club Inspire.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the Crafters Companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every pound, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Here at Crafters TV, it couldn't be easier to get your hands on the latest crafty must-haves. Leave the hard work to us while you shop from the comfort of your own living room. Head to the Crafters Companion website to see our full crafty range, or hit the Shop the Day button to see all the new and exciting products featuring on Crafters TV. Once you've filled your cart, leave it to us to get your crafty goodies to you in super quick time, so you can get on with being creative. Crafters Companion, making crafty shopping a breeze.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
The one that was really funny, Ben, you did.
It was better than your I'm a gnome and I live in a caravan.
I am a gnome and I live in a caravan. Can we clip that?
We'll do it. Everybody's gone surfing, surfing USA.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
You entertain us, you give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV, create every day.
Here at Crafters TV, it couldn't be easier to get social with us. Whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, on your TV or tablet, you can get so close to the action, it's like you're in the studio with us. You can ask questions about products or crafty techniques. Get hints and tips from our expert demonstrators. Plus, share pictures of your crafty makes with our amazing community. Crafters TV, getting you closer to the crafty action.
I love love watching all these new videos, aren't they fab? And actually, while we're saying that, when it comes to social, do get your comments, you know, any questions coming in over this next hour. We've now got Grace on the comments, and I say that because the details are right there, but we are now going into our 1 hour with the one, the only Mark Invisible Image. Hi, Mark.
Hello.
Oh, I'm raring to go. I'm raring to go.
You are you?
Yeah.
So am I.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We touched upon it earlier on, so we've got some new items, and then maybe later on we'll maybe have a wee look at some returning items, and maybe later in the day or something.
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, what have we got new?
We've got 6 brand new stamp sets and 3 new stencils.
Awesome, it's going to be good. I tell you what we'll do is let's have a very quick look at the first one, because these ones are beautiful. So these ones, so everything I'm away to show you is from the Bold Stamps collection, where you've got 20 stamps in total. So $29.99 or $42.99. Even though these are brand new, even though these are visible image, you still get your Club Inspire on top of that as well. So Platinum comes down to $23.99 or $34.39. Just to say though, if you're not in Club Inspire, on that today's price, you've still got a 15% saving anyway, which is such a good thing to get right off the bat. But this one here, as we're saying, is your no filter here. So there is lots of stamps that you'll see actually onto the back there. It's not one big stamp, so you've got, you know, hashtag beautiful, brave. So if you love to do just your flat stamping, great. If you love to do your mixed media, your masking, all these different techniques, you can absolutely be doing that. We've also got background vision. Remember, this is all in that one set here. So background vision, and you've also got bold enough. So you've got your bold enough. All of these are quite simply bold sentiment, you know, whether you're going to be doing them subtle in the background or, you know, right at the forefront. And I say that because I love using Mark Invisible Images stamps, use them quite a lot, and there's lots of things that you can be doing. So that is one of our new launches today, and look at some of the things that you can be doing. How spectacular is that? Now, Mark, you could, of course, you know, you can keep them simple when it comes to stamping. We'll see a few different ideas, but then you can now obviously go to town as well, can't you?
Oh yeah, I mean, basically these stamps do all the work for you. You know, whether you're doing a mixed media or something very clean and simple, these, once you've stamped them, you don't have to put a lot of ink through them, and they just look absolutely stunning. Yeah,
yeah. Earlier on when we were setting up, now Aileen's made this one, and John, he was absolutely away with this one, because it's very clean, it's very simple. As I always say, don't ever be afraid of white space. It works really, really well. And like that one, it really does. It's fab, I mean, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I love it. I love the hashtags as well. They're so, you know, relevant in today's society as well. So
yes, absolutely. And you can use each stamp individually if you want. Of course, you can use them together, but then that is maybe not that one, this one there that we were just showing you. That's giving you an indication of something you're actually waiting to see in a moment or two with the background when it comes to stencils. So mixing them up, layering them up. We'll go into this one as well that you can see here, completely different. Last but by no means, well, I'll show you just a couple more. That one there, because you've got your masking, which is fab, and then these ones. Cool. Sometimes you don't think about just using sentiments as the main focal point.
No, I mean, you know, you can make a great set of cards, you know, just using those, the bold enough sentiments. Again, very positive and meaningful. Look how understated that one is, but it's absolutely gorgeous.
Really, really is. Making little sets that we can see in here as well. I'm going to put that down to lay flat. I mean, how fab's that? Strong colours, but just with the sentiments on the top there, so you can absolutely do that. So that one there, that's all from your bold stamp collection. 20 stamps, today's price being $29.99 or $42.99, of course, with your platinum $23.99 or $34.39. Now maybe you're into the music as well. There's going to be a lot of genres that are going to love this one, whether it's the older generation with your older music, that teen age when it comes to the musics that they love. I'm a little bit of a mix when it comes to music. But this is your Lost in Music stamp, and is that Collision, Mark? Am I reading that
Collision,
right?
yeah.
Yes.
Collision Stencil as well.
Yeah. So actually, you are getting the stencil for free.
You are.
How fab is that one? I love that stencil. $11.99 or $17.39. You're saving over 30%. But if you are platinum, under £10, $9.59 or $13.91 for a brand new stamp set to us at Crafters TV with the free stencil as well. So I'm going to quickly go through these because I know we want to get straight over to Mark and see what he's going to be creating. But you can then, of course, in actual fact, that one there. So if you layer them up with dimension with your foam pads, which, you know, I love to do, of course. You know, I do love my dimension. But you can use lots of inks and mediums as well, I suppose, Mark, couldn't you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, whether you use your Spectrum Noir pens or your blending inks, whichever is your favourite meat, or watercolours even.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just work either way.
Yeah, and you know, we've seen some real brights, but then really reining it in with some of your browns and your sepias, with your blacks. It works an absolute treat. So that is your Lost in Music and Collision stencil. Works out that you're paying for the stamp and you're getting that stencil for free. And another new item today. This is all about the new stencil collection. So this is your 3-piece new stencil collection, $14.99. $21.49, saving over 15%, but if you are platinum, all 3 for $11.99 or $17.19. So these ones here, you'll see that you've got sections that you can cherry pick if you want to. And that's what I actually do quite a lot with Mark stencils, is even if it's a full background, I'll maybe just cherry pick sections. Yep. So even like this one, you know, yes, there's times that I would maybe, and I'm using this as an example because I don't have this one, but something large, I'll maybe not use the whole stencil, I'll just cherry pick little sections. And then that one there, look at that one. So you can really build up your, of course, the time of the year.
Yes.
You know, changing the leaves. Obviously, you've got that obviously going in autumn or fall. But then, you know, I don't know, maybe some of your blues, it could be like winter, couldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we've got Halloween coming up and that kind of tree,
right
a spooky tree, that would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Did you know I'd done a really good song last night on Carlo?
I thought I overheard it this morning.
Yeah, it's good, wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. iTunes. Top five, that's what I say. Here we go, just another quick ideas is what you could be seeing here. So these ones, we are looking more at the stencils, but of course you could be using the stamps that we've just shown you a moment ago. We do have some other stamps sets, stencil sets across on the website. So what we can then do is check them ones out. We will go through them all throughout the show and throughout today. I really want to show you these brand new items just before we head across to Mark. I mean, look at these ones, Mark, isn't it? Yeah, seeing how different they are.
Oh, totally. I mean, a bit of texture paste and the tree looks, you know, with the bark or crackle paste through there, it looks absolutely stunning.
It does, doesn't it? Look at that one as well. So with your stamps or even stencils, can you use things such as your gel plates and
yes,
like
I mean,
that?
Obviously with the frameless alphabet one, yes, you can use your gel plates and that, or obviously with the frameless, it looks even better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's superb.
Excellent, fab. Right, I'm looking forward to this front row view for me, and this is us going to have a look at our brand new collection, the Bold Stamp Collection. 20 stamps, $29.99, $42.99. You're saving of over 15%, straight off a new launch from Visible Image. But if you are platinum, that comes down to $23.99, $34.39. crafterscompanion.co.uk.com.eu. That's where you need to go. Right, here we go. Mark, what we're going to be doing?
We're going to be using the No Filter, the face set.
Okay.
Again, it's very relevant for today. And I'm going to start off with, I've already got just a pre-done background, but again, this is just your distress sprays or oxides, just spritz through, or your mop-ups, because everybody's got this kind of thing left over in their craft stash.
Absolutely.
So again, just doing something like this, just show simply how you can use it and how the stamp will make everything else work. Right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use this stamping platform. The only reason I'm using the stamping platform is because it will make my life easier, and you know, it's the main focal image. The face is a rather large stamp, so you want to you know, if you're creating something, I know it's only a piece of card, but you know, you want it to stamp first time, and I like to go back in as well.
Absolutely.
So I'm just deciding where I'm going to put this. I think that'll work just about there. I know I do like my stamping platforms. I mean, you could go old school and use a big block, but we'll be safe and we'll use this. We'll just use the stamping platform.
Yeah.
So I'm just using some of my VersaFine ink.
Okay.
Again, one of my, it's a nice black ink, and and it works out great on fine detail as well.
Always with your stamps, Mark, get that crisp, clean impression, that pinpoint detail with them all.
And again, you know, as I say, even if your first time it presses and you don't get quite that black that you're looking for, just go back in over again the second time, and it'll work just amazingly.
Or you could just leave it, couldn't you?
So you can see there, I didn't press hard enough there.
Yeah.
So just go back in. And we will get it this time. Live TV for you, that's all you need. So let's go over this again. Just make sure I've got that. Yes. We're happy with that. I think I might just go in a little bit more, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear emboss this as well. So it's going to look amazing. So nice and wet. So the third time, get that lovely black image that you're looking for. And what we're going to do, just take that off there. Put that to one side.
I suppose that's where you're saying if you're using a stamping platform, this is where it comes in handy, because then if you feel as though you've missed bits, you just go back over, don't you?
Oh, totally, yes. So I'm just using some clear embossing powder.
Excellent. Such a beautiful stamp.
Put this to one side. I mean, this is one of my, you know, I'm 9 times out of 10, I'll be using clear embossing powder. I think it's, especially for live TV, it's a saving grace, really, because you don't get those black speckles that you might get if you use black embossing powder.
Yeah. I love the effect. I never get fed up of heat embossing.
No, it always looks amazing, especially when, you know, the finished article. So now it's starting to appear.
It's one of these things is, you know, I would say quite a lot with stamping, but how different that would look, say you use, you know, a turquoise or a yellow in the background, or even the cardstock was a bit smaller or that. You're still going to get that different look every single time.
Yeah, I mean, today, for instance, I'm doing a landscape card, but again, I'm quite known for doing my square cards, so this is a change for me as well. So it's nice to change things up a bit, mix it up. Right, so we've got the first image there, and I think that looks stunning. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go back in, and we're going to use one of the other stamps. So just take this stamp off my platform, and I'll use a different one. So with this set, the next one I'm going to use, I am going to use the background vision. Now this is a great stamp in its own right. It's a great background stamp, but you can also, if you think outside the, you know, it's great if you want to put it behind, say, your butterflies or anything like that. It makes a great background. That's a good idea. But it's got a secret as well. Oh. So this set will actually work with this, with the no filter as well. So let me just get this out.
Okay.
I don't know why I didn't get out the packet earlier on. Actually, I did. I've got one already. That's typical me. Right. So we'll just put this back on the platform, and we'll stamp the next piece. So I'm going to put the card back in.
And this is where, you know, you've got, obviously, you know, your that beautiful impression there. And whether you're just using one stamp set, it works well together. But then you can take, and I know from experience, you know, you can take stamps that you've done from last year, couldn't you, Mark?
Oh,
or,
yes.
You know, before. Bring these ones back in and start to cross them over.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm just kind of work out where I'm going to place this. So just find out whereabouts you want it to go.
Right.
And
that's really clever.
Do you see that? And this was designed like this, but it was designed as in, you don't have to use it with the face. It's great in its own right, but you know, I like to have sets that are multi-purpose.
Yeah,
so, and this will just work perfectly. So I'm just going to stick that there.
Such a good idea.
Right, we use some more black ink, and we'll go back in. Just put that one down there. You know, stamping platforms, sometimes you don't put the magnet in the right place. Right, okay.
It's a magnet that could be the nuisance sometimes.
It can be, yeah. Let's just move that there. Right, okay, let's do. So ink this up again. And again, these there's a lot of positive words on this background as well. So it's you know, it's really nice. It's very uplifting. So we'll place that round about there. Again, you don't have to be, you know, exact as to your placement. I mean, it's just, you know, a rough kind of guide. You know, if it's pretty close, it would be great. So go back in with your platform.
Just noticed that what you were saying. I was just having a look at that background vision stamp. Yeah, you know, the one that you're using. You've got trust, you've got beauty, you are enough.
Yeah.
You know, even things like you are. You've got art, you've got vision, you've got 100% woman, boss.
Yeah.
Where you find it, beauty. All of these ones so positive when you really delve into that stamp impression. So,
again, you know, I wanted to, you know, I think today's world is about, you know, empowering people and being more positive in today's society.
It really is.
So I'll just clear emboss this side as well.
Just beautifully fits.
Just one side.
Where do you take your inspiration from when it comes to designing?
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. So, you know, Helen comes up with a lot of ideas as well, especially the words.
Yeah.
I think this set, I would say that this was Helen's idea, wasn't it, Helen? Helen sat on the sofa there.
Yeah, it is.
Take the credit, Helen. Yeah. Again, you know, I like to push myself, you know, again, outside my comfort zone, whether it be masculine or more feminine. So I just like to try and do my best in whatever I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, it pays off every single time.
So we now have a full image. So the next thing I want to do is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some colour to it.
Okay.
First thing I'll do is I'll stick that to my base card.
Right, you go. And it's as you were saying earlier on, you know, whether you are doing your box cards, square cards, or, you know, if you're going into your concept cards, or whatever style you like, your stamps are always going to fit what style that you like, smaller or larger.
Yes.
You know, and that's a good thing, but when it comes to stamping as well.
Right, so you can go in with a few different items. One of the things I like to use is a little bit of the Stencil glitter glue.
Oh yeah.
That's quite nice, especially you can fill in some of these the little dots that you've got there. So you start to fill those in. I mean, you can use white if you want as well, but yeah, you don't have to do it all. Just do the pieces that you think look great.
Yeah. And
it gives it that accent, especially at an angle. I mean, you could use some clear gems as well if you wanted to. I think I'm going to do that as well. That's a great little circle. It kind of looks a bit like an earring, doesn't it?
It does actually, doesn't it? Yeah. It really, really does.
Again, placement is everything. And when I was putting this set together, you know, I kind of thought about that kind of thing in advance, you know. The other thing I like to do is go in sometimes with a pen. So you can go in with your white pen, possibly, and we'll just go over, say, the eyes.
This is actually something I do a lot, Mark, when it comes to my alcohol colouring.
Oh,
I go in
yes.
with a white pen as well and just create little highlights and that. Never actually thought about it when it comes to stamps.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's great. You know, the pens are very forgiving, especially the alcohol pens,
Yeah.
and you know, it's a go-to thing that you have. So just quickly touch up some of these areas. Go in with the pen on the lips, possibly. Just highlight some of that detail, the light reflection. I mean, if you wanted to, actually, you know what I could do? I think we might have give us some glittery lips as well.
Oh.
That's a good idea, isn't it?
As you were touching upon earlier on, say, you know, if you're thinking of Halloween and you're thinking of, you know, maybe your greens or your purple or your oranges or that, you could then start to aim that down, that season of Halloween if you wanted to, you know, going in with these eyes with the white and that.
Yes, I mean, you know, I mean, I don't know whether you watch, do you watch like She-Hulk and things like that? I mean, that would be great in green. I can imagine her being like a kind of She-Hulk, a very powerful woman, you know?
I've not seen it yet.
You haven't?
Not
Oh,
yet.
It's great. It's a great bit of fun, you know? It's light-hearted.
Yeah.
So go in with the white pen, a few highlights here and there. Again, I'm trying to make it as simple as possible for everybody. And I just put my finger in that, but that's fine. That's what you get for live TV. Okay, so I'm happy with that now. And I think I'll move on to the next part.
Yeah.
So one of the other things I'm going to use is the bold sentiments. So I've actually got one of the sentiments which I have, which is "You are enough," which I think is very apt for this kind of card. So using my Crafter's Companion tape pen for this one, just to stick this on. And this is going to be a very modern card, and it's bold, so I'm going to place this sentiment down the side here because I think it's very, very eye-catching. Just bring that down a touch. There we go. So that's the first card I'm thinking. It's pretty close to be done. The only thing I probably would like to do is, I'll tell you what we'll do, is we also have the Better Days stamp set, which is a great sentiment set. So on the inside of the card, I think I'll stamp that as well, which is great. I'm going to use the main sentiment from the set, or one of the sentiments which I like is Better Days Ahead.
This has been one of those cards that when you stamped out that half face, that looked epic. And then you added, obviously, that script to the side. It just took it to that next level. Then you went in with that white pen, which looked just phenomenal. Then you added that sentiment, and it's like layer upon layer upon layer.
Yeah.
So if you kept it right at the very start of what you'd done, you know, you would be blown away with yourself creating that. But then you can start to layer it up with your other stamps too.
And there's also a little heart in the set as well. So
right.
I might just put a little heart at the bottom there, just to, and it coordinates with the kind of colours on the outside of the card as well. So we have inside Better Days Ahead, which is great, and then a very kind of modern card there, very simply done. You can go into it more, you can add more white if you wanted to, but I think that's pretty much done as You Are Enough. Shall I lift that up?
Yeah, please do. That is absolutely phenomenal, phenomenal. And if anyone's watching and, you know, they want that extra little bit of, you know, inspiration, whereas, you know, are you okay if they were to replicate that exactly what you've
definitely,
done?
Yeah. I'd be, yeah. In fact, you can probably do it better than I could. More time.
And that goes for your social and that, you know, because you've got lots of, you know, social content and that you can just follow away for ideas and inspiration. How phenomenal is that one? That one there is from your bold stamp collection. 20 stamps in total, brand new today here on Crafters TV. $29.99 or $42.99. You've got your saving of over 15%, but if you're platinum, that comes down to $23.99 or $34.39. So we've, right at the start there, we showed you some 3 new bundles. Do you want another few new items? Let's do it. Let's go for it. We've got this one here. Now we're going to be having a look at this within the finished samples in a moment or two. Antisocial Butterfly here, stamp set of 5, $10.79, $15.65, saving of 10%, but platinum for a full stamp set from Visible Image, £8.63 or $12.52. Really, really, really good price when it comes to that collection of stamps there. And look at what you can do. I mean, look at the difference there with the colours going so bright and vibrant, or you're really going down that grungy look. It looks phenomenal. This one here, so Ben's just actually saying this one is so popular, which I am not surprised. But think about your sprays, your shimmer sprays, or even if, you know, you've got lots of our ink pads, your Midas ink pads, you know, you could be using these ones. And although obviously you're watching these via Crafters TV, get all your other crafty products out, not just ours. You know, lots and lots of them that you could be bringing in that you've bought from us, other channels. Use them, get creative, and use the Antisocial Butterflies within that full focus. So that one there, your Antisocial Butterflies, 5 stamps in total, $10.79, $15.65. Right, this one here, actually, this is the one that was used a moment ago within the insert of that card that Mark was using. And here we go. This is Better Days Ahead stamp set, 9 stamps in total. So you are going to be paying $10.79 or $15.65. Saving of 10%. Platinum comes down to $8.63 or $12.52. And look at what you can be doing. Bold sentiments that are going to work really, really well as the focal of your card. And that's what I love with a lot of sentiments that you'll find from Visible Image is they can actually be the focal point. Sometimes you find your sentiment is, of course, that add-on sentiment, but you can absolutely be using them as the focal. You can see this one. This was one of the stencils we showed you earlier on. That's brand new as well. These ones have come from Better Days stamp set with your 9 stamps in total, $10.79 or $15.65. Let's have a look, just to say as well, just with that stamp set, look at that. So recycle all your own tins, you can see, very fab. Love that. Another brand new one as well. Hang in there. Hang in there. You have got this full stamp set here. This one you are getting your 9 stamps. Hang in there stamp set with 9 stamps, $10.79, $15.65, saving of 10%. Also platinum, $8.63 or $12.52. These ones, and I know all of you watch Crafters TV on a daily basis. When I'm on, whenever there's a chandelier, I just want to start singing Chandelier song from Say It, but I will not. You know, if my Halloween song is anything to go by, they always say, these music experts, Chandelier is the hardest song in the world to sing. So I am most definitely not going to be singing it, that's for sure. And this set is the most popular set on this show so far. And I'm not surprised, although it could be any of them and I wouldn't be surprised. They're all fantastic. Han in there, stamp set, 9 stamps in total, $10.79 or $15.65. Right, we're going to go back to Mark and we're going to be having a look at the stencils again, that stencil set that we were having a look at. This is the 3-piece new stencil collection. $14.95, reading the wrong number there, $14.99, still reading the wrong number there, $14.99, $21.49. You've got that saving of over 15% on the new item today on Crafters TV, but platinum comes down to $11.99 and $17.19. I was actually saying to Mark just beforehand, I've really been using stencils a lot more as of late because of the versatility that you can get from them. Yes,
I mean, you know, they're great for your backgrounds, and quite often now people use them as the main focal image as well. So it's great to have a stencil that you can use for both situations. I really love this. This new collection as well is great. This, you know, I think there's a great deal on this, and there's an awful lot of different elements even in this one set that I'm going to use at the moment. This is the off-the-grid stencil, which I'm going to use, but you know, sometimes it can tend to be, it could be like a masculine kind of look to it, but I kind of, you know, so our design team, they've created something very feminine with this as well, using that stencil.
Oh, wow.
So isn't that gorgeous? Again, using the numbers there, and we've got the circles, and we've got the grid in there. That's all from one stencil, so I think that's really cool.
That really is.
I'm going to do kind of a more masculine card at the moment.
Okay.
So what I'm going to also use is the Nothing to Wear set, which we've had this on the show before.
We have.
Bestseller, so it's really good, and it's great to have it, bring it back, because I think it's very, very useful set, especially for maybe male cards, but even female cards, because there's lots of extra elements in this one set. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've got my stencil and I've just put a post-it note over the pieces that I don't want to use at the moment.
Right, okay.
So just to cover them up, so you don't actually, you know, contaminate something else that you may not want that area contaminated with. So I'm going to put my stencil down. I'm using some texture paste. Use whatever brand that you've got there. This is a slightly gritty one, which I like to use. It's quite nice. Again, just go through. I mean, the good thing about stenciling is, especially with paste, is you don't, you know, if you don't want to cover the whole thing, you don't have to. You know, it looks great. It depends on what look you want to go for, whether it be very grungy or very clean. It's entirely up to you how you do it. So I think I'm going to go around about there for this one here. Again, you know, this isn't planned, so I'm trying to just go with the flow and see what we end up with. You know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Again, it's only a piece of, you know, card at the end of the day, so it's great to have a little bit of fun.
It really is.
So I've done those two now, which look amazing. That's good. We'll take that off there because we're going to cover that. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the other part of the stencil. I'm going to use the grid. So I'm just going to, and again, I'm only pasting basically over, you know, a piece of inked card. Okay. So again, you know, you don't have to be so fussy with this. Do you know, I think I'm going to go maybe there. Again, sometimes you would let it dry, but for speed of today, I'm in fact, yeah, I'm going to do that up there first. I'll do that side first. So we'll do round about there, and this is where you don't want it to be, you know, too perfect. The less perfect, the better.
Well, there was a way to say, if you were, you know, creating this sort of style, say the side of your hand or your finger went into the medium or that, and it kind of smeared out a little bit.
Yeah.
Don't panic too much.
No.
Eh?
No. I mean, you know, you can get away with it, especially, you know, if it is just for your background. You know, I think sometimes grungy is good.
Yeah.
So we'll stick with that there. And I'm going to quickly dry it. I don't normally dry this. I would have, most people, you know, I would always recommend to people to let it dry naturally. But for this demonstration, I will dry it quickly.
Okay.
You know when you forget where you put your heat gun?
That's it. You think you're organised, eh? You've got it all set out, and then when come the time, you're like, where did I put that again?
So today I'm going to quickly dry it. Sometimes you don't know how it dries. Sometimes it bubbles a little bit, but I don't worry about that. Let's just go for it. So
and with it being a stencil, and of course, you know, with your stencil, Mark, there is so many mediums that you can put through them, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, our stencils are 350 microns thick, so very thick stencil.
Very.
So it'll work, you know, you're going to get a nice raised area as well.
You really are.
So now I'm just seeing, oh, we've got bubbling there, so I think we're probably, do you know what, I can probably get away with that dry. Right. So next thing I want to do is I'm going to stick this onto my card blank, and then we'll do some stamping as well.
Fabulous.
So just be a little bit careful where your card's going. I think we'll have that there.
And that part of the stencil you used a moment ago, you know, that was actually an elongated part of the stencil, but something that we picked up at the start. You can cherry pick sections.
Yes.
So even smaller individual elements within stencils, you can still cherry pick these ones as well. So you don't think you have to use them all.
Yeah, you can break it right down. So we've got a basic background there using the stencil, a very simple card. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do some stamping. So we'll just move this to one side and let it dry for a moment longer. And I'm going to get this is my t-shirt. Again, back to the VersaFine black ink.
Love how that one stamps out. I've actually got that one as well myself.
You have, yeah.
I do.
It's a great set. It's a really good set. And you can make so many different kinds of cards with it as well.
You can.
That's what I love about this set. Okay. So I'm actually using the Crafter's Companion stamping mat as well, which is, you know, especially if you're working on hard surfaces, I would recommend it. Again, comes out perfectly. I'm going to quickly emboss that.
I know, you know, unfortunately we don't have that stamp on the set, but just for those that have bought it, either from Mark or from us in the past, my friend, she loves designing like funky little t-shirts and that.
Oh,
and
right.
I'd suggested to her what it could do is, you know, if she's got an idea, you know, with that stamp there, she could sketch it out on the t-shirt first to give her a bit of an idea, stamp it on the card, sketch it out before she commits to an actual t-shirt. So, you know, it's a way that you could be using your stamps as well, not just, you know, your card making.
Well, lots of people have said that, you know, whether it's be for a male or a female card, it could be for, you know, your teenager or football teams or whatever thing, you know, music that you're into as well. It just works. So we're happy with this great image. Now I've actually already got one that I've cut out. So we'll just jump to that. So just to save time, exactly the same thing. I've just cut it out very simply. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring it back in our t-shirt and there. And I've also got a few sentiments as well. So Helen told me off earlier because I just realised that I had already used "You Are Enough" on the last demonstration, so I'm not using that. So she did tell me off. So I'm going to use "You Are Strong" because that's great as well for a kind of male themed set. The only thing I want to do before I attach this t-shirt on there is I want to do some stenciling on the t-shirt. So that's, again, another thing that you can do with stencil. So I'll just move this to one side. And do you know what I'm going to use? I haven't used the numbers, so maybe I'll just use some of the numbers, I think. And we're going to have one of those kind of funky, kind of modern t-shirts that you can buy. So use your blending tool. And I've got some distress inks. So I'm just going to go in with, this is the picked raspberry. Again, you don't have to be perfect with this, it's just, it looks great as a t-shirt, you know. And I might go in with a little bit of wilted violet just to complement the colours that are on the card.
Mark, I have to correct myself. That nothing to wear we've got on the show.
We have, yes.
We have, yeah.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
Yes,
We've got
we
nothing
do have
to
that.
wear stamp set with 11 stamps. Today's price $10.79 or $15.65. We do actually have that one on the show.
Well, that's even better.
Lots of stamps that are in it. We'll have a look at it shortly, but yeah, we do have that one on the show.
Yeah, I thought we did.
Yeah.
Right, so let's take that off. And we've got this lovely t-shirt going on here. And we're just going to quickly create a card. Again, this is something that you can, you know, I mean, lots of people will take maybe a lot longer. And then obviously I'm being quick for a demonstration on the TV, but
yeah.
you know, you can go to town on this and make something really amazing.
Yeah, we've still got time.
Yeah, good. So I'm going to just stick this on with some Collel glue.
I was trying to think, your bold sentiments, I was trying to think what it reminds me of, and it's actually just come to me. My cousin, she posts pictures of herself on Instagram, as they tend to do, she's younger, and she's posted a few where she's had, it's like a long top or something like that, and she's had that, the brand of the company all the way around the rim at the base.
Oh, right,
of,
yes, yes.
Of the company, and it's their bold right, and it just came to me there. So, you know, again, really on trend when it comes to that bold sentiment style,
yeah.
Even in fashion.
Oh, it's very fashionable at the moment. Do you know, I'm going to put the, oh, look, that nearly went on the floor, nearly. Just call that. Right, so I'm going to have, I love you are...
Hey, by the end of the day with me, that floor's going to be a mess, so I wouldn't worry about it.
You are there. And I'm going to have strong at the bottom, I think. So, up there. So.
Such a great sentiment for.
And then we'll have the t-shirt on there. I can't decide whether I want it an angle or I think it was straight. So just, and it's nice. Since I like it, just slightly overlapping those words as well. But I think the stencil just, you know, brings out the, you know, the focal image as well. So I think that's really cool. So there we go. I think that's our second demonstration.
Mark, that is fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. Lots of different techniques in there to create that fab card. And as I pointed out once again, you know, simply even on that background, change the colours and it would look different.
Yes.
But you can see how fab that one is. So that was from our three-piece stencil collection. So we have got the three of them, hence why it's called a three-piece. So let's have a look. This was the one that Mark was cherry-picking sections out. This is one I was meaning. It's actually elongated, but even although your separate component elements of your stencils, you can still cherry pick sections. But there we go. So we have got our stencil set here off the grid. We have also got, still within this bundle here, is your alphabet. Really, really handy. We've seen some finished samples with the A to Z being used. And then last but by no means least, we have got our branching out here. So think of your spring, your summer, your autumn, and your winter, of course, but then think of your occasions such as Halloween. That would be really, really lovely. They are spritz through them, ink through them, paste through them, and because they are so good quality when it comes to Mark Invisible Images stencils, you can run them through with your embossing mat and you get a really lovely embossed detail, because that's something else that I do quite often with Mark Stencils Invisible Image. So there we go. That is your brand new stencil set. Three-piece there, $14.99 or $21.49. Right, let's have a look at this one that we do actually have on the show today, and this is what actually Mark was using. We are going to have a look at the comments just in a minute, because I know Grace has been sending them through quick and fast, so we'll have a look at them before we take a little break for you to check out your baskets. But here we go, nothing to wear. So this is giving you that stamp set with 11 stamps, just to show you there that that stamp is an individual stamp of the t-shirt, so you can then be decorated whatever way you like, or do what Mark done there, or you might want to put one of these little stamps in there. You can do that. All 11 stamp set there, $10.79, $15.65. saving of 10%, but even with your platinum price under £10, £10 for a visible image stamp set, come on, one that you're certainly going to be using time and time again, hence Mark saying there that it's been one of the most popular for quite a while. So 863, 1252. Right, let's have a very quick look to see what you can be doing with these ones. Lots of techniques that you can be doing, designing your own t-shirts, ever colours. I mean, look at these ones here, side by side. Look at that one. Theme it for the males, theme it for the girls, or go totally rock if you want to. Look at that. Time to celebrate. Rock on. I won't tell you at home what Ben and George are saying in my ear. I can just picture them going like that. Yeah, rock on. I can just picture them doing that. I can do. Yeah, they're still at it. They're still at it. Jane is saying, these are fantastic new sets. Adrienne is saying, good morning, everyone. Getting ready for work, but it's Friday. Woohoo. It is indeed, although I am in on Sunday for one of our shows. Tom is saying, Mark and Helen, do it again. What a great collection. Love, love, love them. Keep them coming. That's from Tom. We've got Suzanne saying, stunning cards. Rosalind is saying, happy Friday, everyone. These stamps are so detailed. Monique is saying, what are good stamps to use for heat embossing with the powders? I'm familiar with pigment inks, but are there others? I'm going to actually fire that across to Mark, what he uses for his stamps.
Basically, you know, I think if you're stamping, any pigment ink is a good one because they're obviously slower drying. But yeah, or your clear Versamark pad as well, especially if you're embossing into a colour. So that works as well.
Awesome, thanks for that, Mark. Pam is saying, I guess you could use these for home decor. Absolutely you could, even though I know it's, well, kind of home decor. You could store things in, but frames, absolutely you could. Michelle saying, love the sentiments. Jane, Judy, Linda are all saying these are gorgeous stamps. Gorgeous what Mark's just made there a moment ago. Michelle is so gorgeous, so inspiring and uplifting. Love the samples. I'm loving all these stamps. That's Melanie. Jane, Annie, Michelle, Jane, Rox, Stephen, Rox, and it's the same Rox actually, and Suzanne are all saying cool. Rox is saying visible image stencils are amazing quality. They absolutely are. I can 110% vouch for that one. Right, here we go. So I've got a few of you that's got your order just into your basket ready to check out. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you a few moments to have a look at, well, not everything goes swimmingly here on Crafters TV. Check it out.
Many of our viewers bring up time and time again, and that's our wax seal gate.
Thinking, Joe, it might not work as well because I've put too much. Joe's laughing. Oh, I've forgotten to put me thing in place. Oh, Joe.
Words, but I think that doesn't engage with that and can come out all wrong.
Water.
That wasn't the one you just washed your brush in, was it?
Sorry. Yes, but it doesn't matter.
No, it wasn't, was it? It was. Are you kidding?
I'm going to have to say, it's a slip of the tongue. I'm going to say it's maybe to do with my Scottish accent. I'm maybe going to say it's because of Mr. Ben Moseby. He is, well, yeah, he doesn't help matters.
I've made pots that have exploded when I fired them. I've done zips in inside out. It happens to everybody.
We've all spilt our glitter all over our project or knocked the water over.
Right.
I've just noticed I've got my dress on inside out.
So I was messing about doing some backgrounds with the sparkling, took the lid off it and managed to catch the pot somehow, and the whole thing came towards me, down my front, across my lap, onto the floor.
I went to reach for the water and, you know, do the tapping with the and so there was less tapping and more sort of a tsunami.
I've got some...
Oh, it's not on your project, is it?
Yeah.
Oh no!
If you love Crafters TV, we've made it easy for you to watch us wherever you are. Whether you catch us on your tablet or take us with you on your mobile phone, it's easy to watch us anywhere. From here to here. Maybe don't watch us here. It would be easy to watch us here. Probably the easiest place to watch us is here. Crafters TV, with you wherever you are.
And I should just say as well, some of these bloopers don't just happen here, they happen to us at home, even when we're at crafting at our crafty table. Right, we're going to have a look at the antisocial butterfly. It's actually going to be our next demo, I believe. So let's bring this one in here. So we have got our antisocial butterfly stamp set with 5 stamps in total, $10.79 or $15.65, a saving of 10%. This one is new today on Crafters TV. 863 platinum, $12.52, and you can see off the bat there from the front, but then you can also really see it on the back, the amount of creativity you're going to be able to get from these ones here in your butterflies. And it's nice to have these, that, like for instance this one, that crackled effect already there within the butterfly. Nice to have that set there. I'm not going to go too long, so I want to jump back across to Mark to show us what we can be doing, but lots of these different ones, whether it's cards, whether it is, of course, tags. You can, of course, then be using them for maybe little home decor frames if you want to. But it's the way that they look completely different. Whether you ink through them, or you spritz through them, or you paste through them, all these different mediums, of course, you can be using. You can see here, I mean, that one there, I love them all, but I love that one there. So strong that you can see. But the framework, and I'm going to say with that one there, I'm also going to take this one from the no filter set, only because, and I know many you'll hear me say this time and time again, but don't be afraid of your white space or your ivory space. Please don't be afraid of it. How well do they look? It works really well having that lovely border all the way around. Couple more, I mean this one, simple but elegant, absolutely gorgeous. One last one that we can see here. So lots of different things, lots of little styles. Maybe keep your pens in there, maybe keep little loose change in it, whatever you like, you can pop into that one. But that is your antisocial butterfly stamp set with 5 stamps, $10.79, $15.65, giving you the saving of 10%. This is the one we're going to be looking at, Mark, isn't it?
It sure is, yes. And I just wanted to say as well is that the antisocial butterfly also will work with the no filter set as well. It was designed so that possibly you could cover over part of the face like that, and you're going to have like a butterfly on one side, and then you got the dripping down on the side. So yeah, it's designed to work with that as well. So great in its own right, but again, it's just being able to multi-use these the stamps for more than one purpose.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to use the antisocial butterfly, and again, antisocial butterfly, very relevant for today society. Again, for people who are feeling anxious, that's the whole point, of these sets. It's trying to bring positivity to people, and people understand this. Younger people certainly understand, all the hard work that goes into today's lives.
Yeah.
I'm just inking this up with some black Versamark onto a block. I'm going old school now, not using a stamping platform, so we'll see how this goes. You know what? I'm just going to double check that I do it, because I've got a one shot go on this now. Yeah. So we'll give that a shot. Okay, and we'll stamp it possibly around about there. Oh, I can't see. Do you know what? I'm going to have to go that way.
It's funny you saying that, because I do still love using an acrylic block as well.
Yeah. So maybe I should have used the stamping platform, but living life on the edge. Last demonstration for the hour. I'm going for it. Yeah. So sometimes things work, sometimes they don't. So we'll hopefully this will work, and I'm sure it will. There we go. Beautiful. I'm going to clear emboss that now.
Yeah. I was away to say in a moment. I thought I'll just wait until you've done that before I say what I'm away to say. But say you had any light areas or that, again, it can add to the effect, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, It depends on what you're doing, but it's not the end of the world. No. You know, you can always go back in. You've got you do have VersaMark pens as well, so you can go back in or just use your any black pen, just the details that you may have missed. You know, some people you do make mistakes when you're crafting, and it's just being able to either cover those or correct them. There's no mistake in crafting. You just carry on and go for it. I love this. This is a lovely collage as well. See, great words behind it, and it just looks stunning.
What you also do really, really well is if you love that depth, you love that definition, but maybe you don't like yourself doing the building up of layers, that foreground, that background. For instance, that one there, you've done it all in that one stamp. One stamp, you've got the butterfly at the back, at the front there. You've got all of that text detail at the background with the bubbles intermittent as well. It's just so well done.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, again, you know, it's whether you want to do an awful lot of work or just, you know, make anything. I like clean and simple. I do like a bit of clean and simple, but then I also love getting a little bit inky. I mean, this is just an easily spritz inky background. It's not complicated at all. So I'm just going to go back in with a couple. Now I'm actually pinching a few of the circles that are in another set, which is going to come up later on, which is the hang in there.
Okay.
So again, you know, crossing over from different sets, it does work. You know, everything was designed at the same time, so they can work together. So if I want to just do a few there, like so, and I think I'm happy with that. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm trying to remember what order I'm doing things in now. Typical on live TV. Right. So what I'm going to do next is I'm not going to do that. I've also got in the set is a gorgeous crackled butterfly, which is absolutely stunning. So I'm going to just use some of my distress inks and just pick out one or two of the colours that are in my sprayed background and just stamp around the card as well. Again, this idea for this card came from one of my design team, which is Jane Tyrrell, or Tyrrell. Have I pronounced it right, Helen? Tyrrell, sorry, Jane. Yeah, so I'm just going to go around the outside of this card, just highlighting a few details there. Yeah. You don't have to be perfect. And again, second generation stamping if you want to as well. It just gives it an idea of movement on your card as well.
I know obviously you're using Ranger Distress inks. What colour is that you're using there?
That's Wilted Violet.
Perfect, excellent. Just for anyone that wants to know, because you know many of you are going to have our reactive inks pads. Many of you might not. Maybe you watch us when Mark and Helen are here, and you'll have Tim Holtz Distress inks, maybe other brands. So nice to mix them up. Yes,
I mean I just use what you've got, and if you haven't got them, just start adding them to your collection. I don't have a brand that I fancy. I love most of the Crafters Companion stuff. So if I have it, I'll use it, and that's as simple as that. You know, use what you've got, and then work on that. You know, adding more to your collection as you go. You know, it's not about everybody trying to have everything at the same time, because everyone knows that you can't. You know, crafting can be a very expensive hobby, but you know, you just take your time and just add to it as you go in, as you're adding new things to your different stuff as well. You know, I like mixing things up a bit. So what I'm going to do, I think I'll do that one there. So I'll do that to one side. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this to my card blank, so I can move on to the next part.
So we've got just a couple of minutes or so, Mark, just because we need to get demo of the show in. Determined to get you to have a demo of the day, that's for sure. I want you to have a demo of the month. Yeah, not playing favouritism, but I am actually, yeah. I'd love that.
Right, okay, so we've stuck that down. Now the next thing I'm going to quickly do is, I've already cut out the sentiments and stamped them, which is Antisocial Butterfly, so we'll put those on next. Quickly, because I know we're stuck for time. For speed. These tape pens are great for speedy work, aren't they?
Yeah, they're really, really handy.
So I'm going to have Antisocial Butterfly there. Butterfly
And again, this is when you're in control, isn't it, Mark? Because you could have done what you've done, but without that colour droplets in the background.
Yep.
Or you could have done it without that distressed butterfly round the side there. So you can choose the elements, give or take, if you want.
So what I've also done is I've actually cut out a butterfly from this set.
Okay. Oh.
And I've coloured it in with the tri-blend pens, and I've used a little bit of one of the sparkle pens as well. So that makes it absolutely stunning.
Overlay.
And just to finish this off quickly,
yeah, no problem.
I think we can do probably a little bit more stickles around some of these circles, which will just make it stick out.
Do you know what? I've even still got my stickles on my craft desk. I need to start using them more.
Yeah, any glitter, lots of people have got different kinds of glitter glue. They all work pretty much the same kind of thing there. So just highlight as many areas as you want, or as little as you want.
Yeah.
And I'm being quick here, but you get the general idea.
Adding that extra coloured butterfly, what a real pop that makes, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think we'll stop there. So I think we're pretty much done on that card. So let's lift that up for you to have a look at. Again, very quickly done, but I think it's a very effective stamp set.
It really is.
Great on tags as well, if you're creating tags.
Isn't that fab? How fab is that? That one is from your anti-social butterfly. We'll have a little bit of recap in a moment. Mark, can I ask you to please line up the 3 cards that you've done? It was 3, wasn't it? Yeah, it was 3, yeah.
3, yeah.
3, yeah.
Managed to get 3 in.
And then my heart from Becky. Becky's heart in my hand here. So we have got our demo of the show just a way to start right now. So could it be number 1, this one being from Becky, this is our needle heart, number 1. Then we're going to cross over to Mark, who's then done these 3 fantastic cards. Absolutely love these ones. So number 2 could be that beautiful lady with the pink. Number 3, well, we'll just do anti-social butterfly in the order Mark's got it in. And then number 4, you are strong. So 1, 2, 3 or 4. The choice is up to yours. Grace is going to be tallying up the votes, and she's going to let us know in a wee moment to see what will go up against demo of the day later on in the day. Right, let's have another quick look at the anti-social butterfly. 10% of this stamp set has gone. I'm not surprised. This is giving you 5 stamps in total here. 1079, 1565. You can see lots and lots of beautiful things. Clean and simple, bold and bright. You can go sophisticated, you can go sepia and darks. Absolutely do. I mean, look at that one there. Absolutely fantastic. So 863 platinum or 1252. We're then going to have a look at the stencil set here. I'm going to bring in a few samples in. So these ones here, 15% has gone when it comes to these stencils. This is your 3-piece new stencil collection here. So the 3 of them that you're going to be getting here is your branching out. You're going to get that A to Z. You're also going to be getting your 3rd one, which is off the grid. So you can be using them, of course, as your backgrounds. You know, you can even do them so they're quite prominent to be seen by the eye. You can see lots of mediums you can be popping through. Looking in the background. Last one just for a second here. Look at them. So that is $14.99 or $21.49 if you are platinum, $11.99 or $7.19. So that was that one. We're then going to have a look at the no filter stamp collection here. So this one here, this was the one that Mark used in his first demonstration. And think of how some of the other stamps work really, really well to the right-hand side of this gorgeous face there. You've got all your hashtags, words. They are no filter. We've got bold enough as well that we can see here. 20 stamps in total. I mean, look at these ones here. So different, but the effect, I can't stop looking at that one. Can't stop looking at that one. use just the stamp set on its own, or of course mix and match with them both, or mix and match with other sets. You can absolutely do that. So that's your bold stamps. 10% of that bundle's gone, $29.99, $42.99, or if you are platinum, $23.99 or $34.39. And then we're going to have a look at the Lost in Music, last but by no means least. 10% has gone with these ones here. So we have got from Background Vision, that was from the first one, wasn't it? Yeah. That was from the first. So that collection I showed you a moment ago, you've got that Background Vision in that one here. This one, this is the Lost in Music. So you're paying for this one, and you're going to be getting that Collision stencil there. Lost in Music stamp set, fab bundle there. Set of 11 stamps in the stencil, $11.99, $17.39. Platinum, however, is $9.59 or $13.91. If you've never, ever tried any visible images stamp and dies there, nice little set here because you're getting your stamps, but you're also able to try out on the stencils as well. So that is your other option. Right, let's have a look. We've just got a couple of moments, less than a couple of minutes to go. Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Rosalind, Rox, Michelle. Also, Rox again, all saying, Mark, these were absolutely fantastic. How much you've inspired them. And they're going to be using some of the new sets that they've got, but they're also going to bring in some of your older stamps as well.
Great.
So that's so good. Right, thanks to Grace. Demo of the show. It is Mark, and it is number two. So that last one, the one with the You Are Enough.
Oh, that one.
So yeah, it was You're Enough. I know it's because we had Becky's as number one, and then that lady's face with the pink number one. So that is your demo of the show. Mark, you're going to be back 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock you're going to be back, where we're going to do it all over again. That's going to be a lot of fun. Next we've got Becky coming up with Softer Sides. I'm also looking forward to that one. Thank you so much for all your comments as well. Thank you for all of your ideas as well when it comes to visible image stamps. You'll see Mark again at 4 o'clock. We'll be back in an hour's time. Go and grab yourself a cup of tea, lunch, breakfast, and we'll see you shortly. Bye.